Welcome to southern Spain in the season of almond blossoms. Here in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains in the Andalusian province of Spain. And welcome to this week's edition of the Week in Triathlon. And without further ado, let's roll the intro and get stuck into this week's news. First and foremost on the newsfeed this week is the fact that USA Triathlon has launched a new program to expand triathlon at high school level. This program includes a sprint distance USA Schools Championship that's due to be held on the 22nd of April 2016. To my mind, that sounds a hell of a lot like shooting yourself in the foot, because after all, surely it would be better to have 5 months of regional high school level triathlon happening that culminates in a USA championship, for instance, in June, just before the summer vacations. But obviously the powers that be at USA Triathlon think that the best way to be able to drive triathlon development in schools is go around, make a few speeches, and then straight away afterwards have a USA championship over a sprint distance before anybody has a chance to be able to prepare for it properly. Go figure. But then again, I mean, I'm just a coach, and they the bureaucrats that are sitting around in an office deciding such things. But let's see how that pans out over the course of the days and months ahead. The next thing is that Wildflower Triathlon has opened its online bookings for the registration for the event for 2016, due to be happening in May, and which, for those of you that don't know, Lance Armstrong's potential triathlon ban ends in August, so there will be definitely no Lance Armstrong at Wildflower this year at the very least. So, and the big thing about the Wildflower Triathlon registration is that they're going to be offering athletes the opportunity to not only choose their own race number, but choose their transition spot. Almost like airline bookings where you can choose your seat, you'll be able to choose your transition spot for Wildflower this year. So we have to wait and see how that idea pans out and how it works for Wildflower. Now on to news from the world of Ironman. Firstly, Ironman Muskoka has been cancelled after having been held for only 1 year. It sounds almost like Ironman New York all over again, but Ironman Muskoka cancelled after only 1 year. The decision to pull the plug came from the independent race organizer, and he's the guy that needs to cover all the costs of the event. But the athlete registration fees goes to Ironman, and they take their percentage, and there's a trickle down of funds to the organizer. But all of the event organizing expenses fall solely into the race organizer's hands. And with 1,500 athletes for year one, it left the race organizer with a $100,000 loss, and in all likelihood a similar size loss heading into year 2 as well. So the big problem with Ironman Muskoka, the area around the event has too many hills. The popular Ironmans are the ones that are absolutely pancake flat and devoid of any interesting challenges. That's what seems to make full distance Ironman all that exciting for people to race, because if it's pancake flat, they can just simply chase after time and not worry about anything interesting as far as the landscape around which they're racing. Then Ironman has also announced their all-world athlete champions for each age group category for 2015. Bearing in mind that for the all-world athlete title, athletes earn ranking points by consistently finishing in the top 10% of their age group at multiple Ironman events throughout the year. And if Ironman ever wanted to do out-of-competition doping control testing of age groupers, they need look no further than the all-world athlete ranking list. But obviously they won't do something like that, because pinging multiple age group athletes will be bad for business. Staying with Ironman, and we're now on to race results. Last week Sunday the 10th of January, was the Ironman 70.3 that was in Pucón, Chile, Barbara Riveros of Chile picked up the ladies' title, and we all know Barbara not only from ITU Triathlon. She's probably going to be racing the Olympic Games again this year. We know her from ITU racing, we know her from Xterra racing. She's picked up a good number of Xterra titles as well, and now she's picked up the Ironman 70.3, defending her title in Pucón, Chile. And bearing in mind that Ironman 70.3 distance racing, from a physical fitness point of view, stands you in incredibly good stead to be able to race Xterra, because both require roughly the same amount of cardiovascular fitness to be able to perform well. Looking ahead to this coming weekend, absolutely zero Ironman events this coming weekend. The next Ironman event on the calendar is in another week's time, and that's going to be in South Africa. Now on to news from the Challenge family. The big news from the Challenge family is that there's absolutely no news whatsoever from the Challenge family for this past week, and there were no Challenge family events last weekend, and there are no Challenge family events this coming weekend or next weekend. The first Challenge family event of the 2016 season will be taking place on the 31st of January, and that's going to be in Melbourne, Australia. Heading on to Xterra. Again, Xterra has released no news for the past week, and there have been no Xterra events last weekend, no Xterra events this coming weekend. Xterra is in full sleep mode until we get to the month of February, when the Xterra season starts kicking off again. But zero news whatsoever from the Xterra front, all quiet, all in full sleep mode, still there at the moment. Now onto the world of ITU racing. Once again, no proper news whatsoever from the world of ITU. All they could do was rehash a couple of race reports from the various World Triathlon Series and World Cup events from 2015. I mean, come on guys. You've got the Rio Olympic Games this coming year. Surely you can put out some proper news on your website. Then as far as last weekend's concerned, zero ITU racing last weekend. But coming up this coming weekend on Sunday, there's going to be an American Continental Cup, and that's going to be taking place in La Paz, Argentina. I'll be giving you some degree of race report, or as much race report as I can give you, that I can extract from the ITU. That will be coming up to you in next week's edition of the Weekend Try. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of the Weekend Try. Please feel free to share this video out amongst all your triathlon friends. Remember, thumbs up button if you like this type of video content, and there's a big red subscribe button down there as well. Hit that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel. Remember, every Friday there will be a new edition of the Weekend Triathlon, and for the other 6 days that run up in between, there will be an athlete question answered each and every single day. And if you're wanting to have more information about training, nutrition, otherwise, remember, down below the video in the information section, there is a link to my website where you'll be able to find training plans, you'll be able to find nutrition information. My ebook is on there as well. And so by all means, go check out my website, have a look around, but besides doing that, remember, give this channel a subscribe, and that way you'll be able to keep up to date on a daily basis on all the new information that will be coming out to you from me to you by way of training tips, training ideas, to be able to make sure that the 2016 season is your best season ever. But until we meet again for another edition of the Weekend Try or another athlete question answered, stay carved up for the win out there. I'll see you then. Cheers.